So in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about developing a solid SEO or search engine optimization strategy for your affiliate promotions. At this point, you should already have an affiliate program. You should already have signed up at a few affiliate networks. You should also have a website with tons of content related to your particular niche at this point. So these strategies are SEO strategies. For those that don't know, SEO stands for search engine optimization. There are kind of two methodologies with search engine optimization. They're what we call on-page strategies as well as off-page strategies. So if you're looking for the right SEO strategy for your affiliate business, there are many options that can help you make money with affiliate marketing through SEO. SEO is definitely an important tool in most online marketers' quiver of skill sets, sort of to speak. And mastering it can definitely give you a greater edge, because typically if you have good SEO rankings, you typically can buy traffic at cheaper rates as well, especially if you consider Google. So one such methodology or one component or construct of SEO is on-page optimization. So on-page is not as useful as it was about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you could take a keyword, have it appear 50 times, put that out on the blogosphere, and rank in Google in a few weeks for that particular keyword. Okay, so that's known as keyword stuffing. That's kind of an old school black hat trick. Okay, people no longer do that. People no longer do doorway pages. People may do link wheels, but I'll talk more about that when I talk about the other facet of of SEO, which is off page. So on page is that you want to make sure that you're leveraging fully the title on your web page to reflect the content of the articles. So if we go back to the example of shoes for CrossFitters, so if you recall some of the long tail keywords that we discussed in previous videos, you want to take those long tail keywords and develop articles, make articles out of those particular keywords. And you want to take those article titles and put them in the title. You want to make sure you take those same long tails, put them in your meta tags, your page descriptions and things such as that. You also want to make sure that maybe you bold or put in italics a few of your major keywords. Don't go overboard with this. Just make sure you maybe have the keyword or the title in the header of the particular page as well. Outside of that, just make sure that you aren't overstuffing keywords in the particular article. You want to make sure that the article is readable and still written for a human, and not necessarily just written for SEO or for spider optimization. So you don't want to just write for a robot. You actually do want to write for a human. So that's kind of the gist of on page. You also want to make sure that you use alt tags for your images for particular keywords. You want to make sure that you're linking from page to page, that you have adequate amount of navigation, or what they call deep navigation. You want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly. Okay, one of the last Google updates was what they call mobile getting. So websites that were not mobile friendly were penalized. So some people's traffic dropped as much as 20, 30, 40%. Reading through a few online forums because they did not have a mobile optimized website. So something as simple as that can affect your ranking. So that's one thing. Also bounce rates. So how much time are people actually spending on your page versus leaving your page? So managing that, managing retention of visitors, amount of reoccurring visitors, so amount of unique visitors versus recurring visitors. So people are constantly going to your blog not only once, but they're coming back every day, they're coming back once a week, they're coming back once a month. Also scroll rates. So scroll rates now have an impact on SEO. So you want to make sure that you're managing scroll rates, bounce rates. You want to make sure that your information is you want to make sure that your content is engaging and that your visitors are sharing it. So also social share signals are implication of on-page optimization. I know I'm kind of throwing a lot of terms out there, and these aren't buzzwords, believe me. These are just kind of the basic accoutrements of on-page optimization. So it's not as simple as just optimizing a title or putting a long tail keyword as a header. You also have to balance some of these other technical aspects. Also, site loads time, site load speeds. So if you have a site, amazing design site, tons of beautiful CSS and HTML5 and all that beautiful stuff, but it takes forever and a day for your website to load, okay, then that's going to adversely affect your SEO. So that's also an on-page component that you really need to take a look at. So that's the whole on-page portion of that's the whole on-page. Now, other portion of SEO that I'll talk about is what we call off-page. So off-page is really link building, but not link building as you may be thinking. So it's not as simple as going out to 1,000 sites, 100,000 sites, and getting them to put a link back to your website using anchor text for keywords you want to rank for. That's kind of old stuff. I call that old hat. That's something that used to work about 4 years ago. You get a bunch of anchor text. But now with the Panda and the Penguin updates, they really put a lower ranking on anchored text, especially anchored text from low PR sites or trashy sites or spammy sites or parasite sites. A lot of names that they describe these type of links. So these are kind of bottom feeder links. One thing that people are doing now, or that they were doing, is private blog networks, where you develop your own network of blogs that all have unique IP addresses. You control the blogs, you control the content, you control all the links on the particular blogs. You limit the outbound links to 3 to 4 links per page from the blog roller, from the home page of a particular blog, going to the blog that you hope to rank for. You control a lot of these sites. So on the topic of shoes for CrossFitters, you might have 5 or 6 sites all related to working out or CrossFit or shoes. And from those particular sites, because they're related to our site, CrossFitter Shoe Reviews, we can then get some links going to our CrossFit Shoe Review website. But we own all these blogs, so it's not like we went out and naturally obtained these particular links. These are all contrived links. So this is working fairly well, especially if you had low outbound linkage. So especially if you only had a few links from these particular private blog network sites back to your home page. Also, if you had a smaller kind of SEO footprint, so showing unique IP addresses, showing different C-class IP addresses actually, and also making sure that you have different different registrant information, so you're not registering the blogs on the domains and the hosting all on GoDaddy. Make sure that you're kind of spreading out over the internet from different servers all over the world. So this still works at some level, but you have to still be very careful. A lot of people argue that private blog networks are no longer the cat's meow, and then Google's really coming down hard on a lot of people that have private blog networks. And I have seen in several forums people complaining about losing huge amounts of search engine rankings because they were parts of blog networks that were discovered by Google, and all their sites were either delisted or just took a penalty where they're no longer ranking as high as they were previously to being discovered. So people are now opting to still create their own kind of link wheels. So they'll take 100 to 1,000 Web 2.0 websites, so like Hub Pages, WordPress, blogs, Blogger blogs, Squidoo, Lenses, and they'll put content across all these and then have relevant links going back to maybe some second tier sites. From those second tier sites, they'll then link to another site, another group of sites, and from that site you'll link to your money site. So we'll link to our CrossFitter shoe review website. So still this practice of developing link wheels, and this is something you can easily Google, go on YouTube and find a ton of videos talking about link wheels. This is still considered very gray hat. I guess the white hat approach to SEO is to actually have highly engaging content, and good content spreads itself around the internet naturally. So that should always be the goal, to have good quality engaging content that educates and entertains and inspires and motivates the people that will be influenced, the people that want that type of content. So particularly we talk about our niche blog, CrossFit shoe review. We would then think about what is content that would appeal to a CrossFitter. Okay, obviously they're very into working out, they're very big into nutrition, they're very big into equipment, especially athletic equipment, etc., etc. So we want to make sure that we have content that appeals or educates that particular crowd that we're going after. Another kind of white hat technique a lot of people are kind of using, especially a lot of these very popular social sites such as BuzzFeed, for example. They have kind of these very link bait titles. So they have some titles that are very enticing. So you look at the title and you go, and it might be 7 things that single moms fear more than death. Like, oh my goodness, I'm a single mom. What are the 7 things I fear more than death? So you click on that link, and then the article, might have some kind of angle, it might be advertorial, might have some native ads at the bottom of it where they're trying to promote you clicking through to some other services that single moms may be interested in. So that's a title, that's a strategy. And I suggest is going to a website like Gawker.com or going to BuzzFeed and just looking at some of the titles of some of the articles to get a rough idea about what link baiting is all about. But it works. People share these type of articles. So if you were to have a link bait article with a link bait title and get it shared across social media, probably result in a lot of traffic going back to your main blog that you mentioned in that particular link bait article. So Noah kind of mentioned a lot of things. Also under this whole SEO section of the affiliate marketing course, I want to mention social media as well, because kind of social and SEO are really have become blurred. So they're a bit blurred. So social media marketing is really just leveraging some of the large social networks and social platforms such as your Facebook, your Twitters, your LinkedIn, and that kind of thing, and actually sharing content with people that follow you on those particular networks. So for example, going back to our CrossFitter shoe review, it may make sense for us to have a Facebook page, to have a Twitter account where we talk about CrossFit, we talk about working out, we talk about different training equipment, different training methods, different training routines. Also talk about or show pictures of different shoes that various CrossFitters are using. We can also syndicate reviews, so some of our blog posts that we wrote on our site, we can tweet those, we can post those on our Facebook. So people that are on our social networks can then start to hear about our site or find out about our site through the use of social media to go back to see further reviews and get detailed information or additional information regarding CrossFit shoe reviews. Okay? So that's kind of a way you can leverage social media. So really, content is still going to be kind of the king, kind of the fuel, and kind of social media kind of be the engine that allow you to syndicate or to run, to get around, sort of to speak. So you want to leverage these social outlets as kind of exactly that, outlets for your content. So houses for your content. So you have your main blog, which is your main house. And then you want to have a little apartment there on Facebook, want to have a little cottage on Twitter, want to have a little bungalow on LinkedIn, want to have a vacation home on Pinterest, okay, want to have a a log cabin on Instagram. You want to have a little home everywhere. All the social networks want to have a little home, but you always have your home, which should be your blog platform. So you want to make sure you're using these other homes to syndicate information, to have a presence, but ultimately you want people to come back to your main home, which is your main house. So that's kind of a little analogy to keep in mind. Our approach to look at social media is just an additional outlet for content you're already putting on your blog. So finished section 5, module 5. We talked about SEO and affiliate marketing. In our next video, I'm going to be talking about the importance of finding a product that you believe in. I'm also going to talk about how you can leverage a few websites. I know I have articles in ezines. Ezine used to be a great source, especially ezine.com used to be a great source for affiliate marketing. It's not as hot or not as popular now, but I'm going to talk about some how people are still kind of leveraging a few of those platforms in our next video. So until then, I'll see you, and if you have any questions, always feel free to message me or post a question in the discussion board. Until then,